Jade, can you just zoom in one plus sign or something?
Well, I'm going to turn off my video. Why do I have mine on?
And we are recording.
I'm looking at myself thinking, nobody else has hers on. All right, the time is 8:32, and this is the mayor-manager meeting on December 15th. And in the Teams meeting is Linda Olson, Allison McKinney-Brown, Jade Truscott-Reed, Nathaniel Sierra, Shawn Lewis, and Stephanie Carlisle.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll get started with January 4th. You get a long break here. We have a number of a couple of study session items, and the rest are regular. So we've got a utilities customer assistance program overview. We will have the wayfinding and placemaking. First look at the survey results and the kind of final designs. And by the way, I should mention, thanks to you all's suggestion for a postcard, we have over 700 survey results.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been really great. And then we'll also be putting together a study session for you just on the city attorney search and recruitment. And as I said last night, it seemed like we had consensus to move forward. So I was going to see if I could forward the proposal that we should get, by the end of the week from GovHR, and just go ahead and say, unless there are objections, from council, we're going to go ahead with this.
Yeah, I think most people would like to go ahead with them. Well, one intermediary step might be to get when we.
Oh, we lost you, Mayor, or I did.
I did too.
Mayor, if you're still there, we can't hear you.
It looks like she's still there.
I know, and she was giving good advice on something.
So, Shawn, regarding the HR proposal, so are we saying that we're going to ask them to submit a proposal?
Yes, since we just did an RFP for the finance director, we're going to just ask them to submit a proposal in accordance with that RFP, even though there's nothing binding about that RFP at this point. Okay. But just so that you'll have the same information we would have for a normal executive search. But with the council's experience with that company and stated preference last night, then I think unless there's something objectionable in the proposal, or if they have done 2 attorney searches in the last 5 years, I mean, that would be a red flag for me. So
okay.
I'm gonna go. I don't have my cell phone on me. Let me go grab it in case she's trying to text.
I was just going to recommend for Mayor Olson possibly logging off and trying to log back on. And I can resend the link if you would like.
You just want to boot her off?
Yeah, well, sure enough, she texted me and said that her computer decided to update and turned off.
Hey there.
Hey, Linda. I just read your text about getting kicked off.
Those updates have impeccable timing.
Oh my gosh, I think at about 7 this morning, I clicked yes. I wanted it to update, go ahead and do it. But now it's just, it did it, and it didn't do it. And now here we are an hour later, hour and a half later, and it decided. Sorry about that. What I was saying about the Gov HR was that asking them how many attorney searches they have done, getting a little, they had given us a brief, like a quick 1-pager when we looked into them the first time around about how many, who are the different kinds of searches that they've done. I don't know if they have something like that that's more current. I just would like to make sure we build some confidence they've done attorney searches before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then, but then I think you're right. I think there was consensus that we should go with them, but
Well, we will get that proposal and try to get it by the end of the week, and get that out. But yeah, a limited number of searches for city attorneys would be a red flag for me, so.
yep.
Moving on, actually, we don't have any timeframes around wayfinding or GovHR. I think probably we should give ourselves 15 minutes for the overview of the on study session for the presentation of the results, survey results. So Jade, maybe we can plug presentation 15, and then I don't know about council discussion. I
I don't
actually should say that there may actually be an intermediate step with this one. You guys are approving wayfinding, but there have been a number of design ideas that have come in from the community on placemaking. So I think they've got some work left to do on that. So I think probably you're not going to be making any final decisions even before in anticipation of a regular session. So.
Okay. So what do you think, 15 minutes or?
I think so. And
Nathaniel, do you think there's going to be more interest in that?
Well, no, I think that's fine. Just I'm kind of curious if there's going to be another step. Then I think that 15 minutes will be fine.
yeah, I think we should.
Well,
We're Chris and I are planning on that.
Although last night I thought the third party stuff, I mean, that took forever to have the exact same vote we did the first time. And I guess my computer decided to come on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to have us undershoot.
Well, I think the third party was a
our
little
members.
different. Third party was a little
Okay.
different in the sense that we were actually voting on
Yeah,
it.
it's much more controversial. Yeah. Okay.
And then, do you want to put anything around the city attorney recruitment? Any time frame?
I think I would say maybe 15 minutes max for that. I mean, will it just be deciding on the organization?
I think if we have any concerns from council about the lack of experience or from
Yeah.
GovHR, we will immediately issue an RFP and we'll have the results back. Just make the consultants have the results back before January 4th. So if we do end up releasing and doing the full-blown process, we would definitely, need probably a 10-minute presentation and perhaps 20-minute discussion or something.
Okay.
So this
So
is more of a placeholder.
Shawn, I was going to say, I think that we may go into a little bit more discussion than 10 minutes. Oh, there we go. I was going to say probably about like 30 minutes total, but.
Jay, just take 10 off the presentation. I don't think we'll need full 15. Might not need any.
That's
And then, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to confirm 5 minutes for the presentation and 20 minutes for the discussion.
Sounds good.
Good with me.
And then, Mayor Pro Tem, how much time would you need to discuss the interim CA appointment? Will it be mostly just a motion and second, or?
well, Allison,
You can
to me,
discuss that. You can discuss
Yeah.
that in executive session. As long as the appointment happens in a regular meeting, it can be discussed in executive.
I really would like to have an executive meeting with you to talk about just things that are our personnel, so that we have an understanding.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
All right,
So we should plan on having an executive session that meeting as
Did
well
you
as.
mute me?
I'm sorry, I thought that was a staff member. But I thought that all
got
that
told
sound
you've
was
been
coming from
muted.
your, I think it must be Allison. There's some sort of sound coming from somewhere.
Sorry.
Let's see, where are we?
So I just want to confirm we'll have an executive session on the night of the 4th and then a follow-up motion after that, or would we would have to wait to appoint at the next meeting, correct?
No.
Okay.
It's just a regular appointment. It's fine. So there would be an executive session followed by a motion to appoint.
But we will need an executive session, correct? That's,
I would like one.
yeah, that's
So
just a whole other setup we want to make sure we're clear on.
So Allison, tell us what the parameters are for this. I think it would be helpful to get a scope of the personnel issues just within the department so we understand what's the best thing to be doing.
So we would do an executive session for personnel, and the primary personnel would be myself, so that I could basically tell you what I'm doing, what's going on within the department, what the issues might be. And then I would ask, and actually I've already asked one, but I need to ask both assistant city attorneys if it's all right if they are discussed in the executive session. So it's okay. That's is a personnel. If you want them to be standing by to participate in the executive session, that's fine. We can make sure that they have a link and that Stephanie advises them, or I can advise them if they're requested to be within the executive session for some part of that.
Ooh. Is that me?
I'm not hearing it.
I think it's Allison.
I think it's Allison.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just some feedback, Allison, coming from your computer. It's kind of odd. And I'm still giggling about muting you, Mayor. I'm sorry about that. I thought the sound was coming from that call.
Joel would like to know how to do that a lot.
Did the sound stop when I hit mute? Because I'm not hearing anything, and even my dogs are totally silent. So
it does, Allison. It starts to come off mute. So
sorry, really I think now that I'm leaving, my equipment has been downgraded. So we just have to deal with this really poor quality stuff now.
Yeah, I had a joke there, Allison, but I held back. This is being recorded.
All right. Well, I think we can move. Is that good on CA appointment?
Yeah, I mean, Nathaniel, do you think that's going to be a problem? I just think it would be helpful to get a lay of the land and anything that is on her plate of things that she's concerned about, just the personnel. I guess if there were confidential things that you need to tell us about anything related to attorney-client privileges, that maybe should be.
I was going to say, I don't have an issue with it. The only issue I have with it is we have a lot on the agenda already, and we pushed back executive sessions because of length of meeting in the past, and that would be my concern. But I agree with the fact that we need an executive meeting for this.
Do we need to start at 5:30?
I think that'd be a good idea for this one.
Nathaniel?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Okay. Ugh. It doesn't mean the meeting's short, it just means we don't stay as late.
So where would this executive session go? Under mayor's choice like we usually do, or do you want it earlier in the meeting?
Yeah, I don't care where it goes.
Well, so we're doing the appointment when? Because I think, wouldn't we want is the personnel discussion needed in order to do the appointment? I don't think it does, but I'm just wondering what other members of council need that.
I mean, we could still do a motion even at the end of the executive session.
Right.
So we could.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Maybe we don't need it. I don't know. Maybe we don't need it.
Need the executive session?
Yeah.
I think you do. I think if you're going to make an appointment to that level of a position, there's got to be a discussion on the city council regarding what it is their expectations are, what they think they need. And people are not as open about personnel discussions in open meetings. So honestly, this is someone you're going to be having to work with for at least 2, if not 3 months at the short end. And you guys need to have that conversation.
Yeah. All right. So let's do it then. And we'll have to figure out the rest of the schedule.
Under mayor's choice?
No, I think it needs to be earlier if we're going to appoint.
Okay.
What?
We can play.
I can't see anything because my computer's making just terrible. Like, oh, I hope
No worries.
Just did my computer.
Yep, we currently have it placed right after all the study session items. So if that is a good place for you, Mayor, we can leave it there.
Yeah, is that before public comment or what?
It would be before public comment.
Okay. Is that good to do it that way or?
Yep, I remember we had talked about possibly having that after public comment, or in the past we have done that due to citizens. So we can make a note to have it after public comment if that works best for you.
I think that might be better. What do you all think?
Agreed.
I agree.
Agree.
Okay, let's do that then.
All right. Then we will move on to Keep Inglewood Beautiful Holiday Lighting Award winners. Contract with Kaplan, Kirsch, and Rockwell. Golf course driving range netting replacement. OpenGov renewal agreement number 1. And that's for I think that's for the CIP software. Authorizing the mayor to sign a letter of support for the city's FEMA flood recovery assistance grant application that we're making.
I did have a question for Allison. Would this be considered, since it's a letter for a grant, would this be covered under the previous item that we had passed for grants or no?
It depends on the amount that's being asked, and I haven't seen that letter, so I don't know. If it's something that comes underneath the previous resolution, then we'll pull it off, but let's leave it until I've had a chance to figure out how much they're asking for.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, good question. And then we have recommendation to award contract to HS3 for the security cameras, award to HDR for engineering services for the stormwater system. We have Romans Park improvements, phase 2 construction of award and contract. We have motion to approve utility billing software with Cogsdale. Designation of the official voting place for legal notices. Resolution appointing members to various boards and commissions. Police Department 2021 budget supplemental. Title VII mutual aid and response. Code of ethics for Inglewood. Big Dry Creek easement agreement and acquisition. And Council Bill 58, intergovernmental agreement with Arapahoe County for emergency management services. So that's second reading, but it can't go on consent because it was not unanimous. We have CB 61, vacation of right-of-way, and council liaison check-in.
May I suggest putting the code of ethics at the very end of the ordinances? Because if this meeting runs long, then it's something that can be moved to the next meeting. But if if the meeting goes quickly, and a lot of these things, I don't think there'll be a lot of need for discussion, but if the meeting goes quickly, it's there. But I do think that the members of the city council are going to discuss this.
I think that's a great
I think
idea.
that's fine.
All right. Well, if there are no questions, we'll move on to January 11th. So we have a presentation of UDC assessment outreach findings. That's for the Title 16 work. And then the other study sessions are mainly from your strategic plan, walkability, resident safety, and transportation safety. And then we'll have a discussion about the SEAC, Code Enforcement Advisory Committee policy recommendation that was submitted. So hopefully we can move through those pretty quickly. Is it okay if we establish timelines for those at the next meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then January 19th, we have the long-awaited Xcel Energy update on the transmission line project. We'll have the Dr. Cog. Oh no. Maybe she's getting on the computer?
She's still on the computer, it shows.
I'm on the computer now.
Great.
Now I can see the whole screen.
Great. And Mayor, I did pass along your comments about the aging issue with Dr. Cog, so we've got those to Jalen. Okay. And then we'll have a status update on short-term rental ordinance enforcement and licensing. We'll have the Highway Users Trust Fund mileage certification. Inglewood Service Center drainage and parking lot improvements. That is a resolution. And then a resolution to reappoint the associate judges, actually just one of them, David Specker, I'm not sure. Winslow Crane Planned Unit Development will be there on first reading. And then we'll have the second reading of the Police Department budget supplemental. We'll have the Title 7 Public Aid, Mutual Aid and Emergency Response second reading, and second reading of the Code of Ethics. All right, then of course you got your council retreat, and Jade, I think that's January 23rd. Yeah, the retreat, if that's what this is supposed to be.
The retreat is the 23rd, and then okay. The canceled date is the 25th. I apologize about that.
Gotcha. And then on February 1st, we have a study session on the UDC. So that's the more or less the kickoff that we'll have. By then we'll have a contractor for that, and then we'll have the PUD for Winslow Crane on that meeting. And we have City of Inglewood Sewer Connector District's rate analysis. By the way, there's an open council request on this, but we really won't have the information for the council request until we have this discussion. So, anything else? I did take down last night one council request to look at into the graffiti on Key Bank, and what else was there? Did anybody else take down a council request?
That was the one I remembered.
We have Dave Cuesta requesting the percentage of voters for the 2020 election.
Okay.
But didn't you give us that during the meeting?
Yep, I'd given you the number that I had found, but I said that I would follow up with the exact number.
Yeah. It was very helpful to hear how low that DDA was compared to the number. I mean, I think I kind of knew that when I saw the numbers, but it just, and getting the explanation of how, I mean, we knew that you had to ask for it, but it really is a very convoluted way of having to get a vote out.
I know, I regret not mentioning that that is a state mandated process and
Yeah.
that was not something of our own creation, but.
Yep.
All right, well, I think that's all we've got.
Maybe, Shawn, in the sending out the percentages that you say that in whatever the council request is from
Oh, okay.
Dave.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? I wanted to go back to January 4th and figure out, is there any way to lighten this load now that I can see it? I mean, I said to put, yeah, we have the vacation, the second reading on the vacation of Grant Street on consent because I was willing to do that. But is there anything else that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 things, 5 things on consent?
Yeah, I think that letter of support for FEMA could definitely go on there.
Sorry, my screen is frozen. Please give me 1 second to try and figure out what's going on. I might need to unshare really quickly.
Gremlins this morning. Is there anything else here we can, recognition of the lighting is just, sorry that last year it ended up like this too, I think, after the fact. But we never used to do it that late before. It used to always be in December right before. But my dog is barking. Can you hear her?
Just barely. Jade did send us, oh, you're back live, Jade?
I am.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we'll also put the FEMA, if that ends up being an item we need to discuss, we'll put the FEMA grant on consent. And then the award of the contracts for the service center and civic center buildings, we've done, well, it won't have been in that year, but in 2020 we did, I believe, a contract for that with someone, so that could probably go on consent.
Is it the same company?
I don't know that, but I would consider it routine.
Well, let's try and get it into consent.
And then, let's see.
I'm sorry, which item was that?
Sorry, thank you. It's that one that your cursor's on. HS3, yeah.
Perfect.
But did Maria have to do a 5-minute presentation with it? Or she won't? Oh no, it's Maria. It's about
DeAndre. Yeah, I would actually, if y'all are okay with putting that on consent, I think staff will be too.
Okay, it may get pulled, but
sure. I would say that the next one is not the engineering for stormwater. That's probably not suitable for consent in this environment.
Yeah.
Romans Park, that's phase 2. You've known it's coming. You could consider that for consent.
Let's put it in consent. We've done that over and over. I hope.
Hogsdale is a huge contract. So probably it shouldn't go on.
Okay.
And of course, the posting official notices will be on consent. Board and commission appointments. I guess you usually do that.
Yeah.
I expect some discussion for sure on the police department supplemental. Actually, I think that, and Allison can chime in, but I think that mutual aid thing could go on consent.
It's an ordinance.
On
first reading. I don't expect there to be any discussion. There wasn't when I presented it at study session. There hasn't been any discussion from the directors. I think that's going to be a really fast item.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will just have to be on my toes to try and limit. There's usually, yeah. I'll just tell everybody they have one question to begin with and then see if we can keep it in check.
Sounds good.
All right, good. I think we're finished with everything then, are we? Is there anything else from last night?
Not that I have.
Nothing for me either.
Okay, great. The time is now 9:02. Gosh, that's good. And
It felt longer, didn't it?
It
All
felt
the
longer.
technical
Well,
issues.
yeah, tech problems. But yeah, so let's ask this question first, though. Are we going to? When do you want to meet again? Do we meet? Next meeting's the 4th, so
It'd be the
I don't think
5th.
we meet till the 5th.
yeah, we're all set for the 4th, right? There wouldn't be any reason.
I don't think
Is
so.
there?
Yeah,
Unless
you're
you
not
need
roping
some.
me in, Mayor. I'm
Yeah,
taking 2 weeks off.
you what? You taking a real vacation?
No, I'm not taking a real vacation, but I'm taking these 2 weeks off. I'm gonna
Good.
decompress.
So am I. So that's great. All right. So this mayor manager meeting is now adjourned. It's 9:03. Thank you, everybody. Have a great, safe holiday.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you,
Sure,
you
everyone.
too.
Bye.